Hello everyone. Here, our group will present about evaluating a story entitled Rules of the Game by Emitan. So here is our group member. I am Amelia Waqidatuzzarima. My student number is 060. So here, my friend, say hello guys.
Hello everyone, I'm Syahra Salsabila and my student number is 073.
Hi, my name is Yowana and my student number is 078.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaian and my student number is 079.
Hi everyone, I'm Nida and my student number is 085.
Okay, here our list of discussion about evaluating the story. So the first thing that we will evaluate is, does the story belong to any recognizable genre of literary type of fiction? And yes, it does, because Tan takes some element of the story from her own life. This story is a work of fiction. Tan used elements from her own life in the story. She, like Waverly, was an American-born daughter of Chinese parents and had 2 siblings. Tan, like Waverly, had a tense relationship with her own mother. However, Rules of the Game is a carefully put work of imagination. Tan, for instance, was not a chess champion as Waverly is. Tan used chess, a game of silence and strategies, to symbolize the way Waverly. Navigating to very different culture, one American, the other Chinese, treat the situation like a game. However, Tan has defended her stories on the basis of them being fiction, not reality. So the next is,
Well, after we evaluating the genre, find what is the genre of this story, we have to find the expectation of that genre. Next. Well, as we know that this story is a fiction, although this story is inspired by the real life of the author, but the characters, the plot, and etc. is the result of the author's imagination. So the genre of the story is a fiction, while the expectation of the genre is to arise the reader's imaginations, since it doesn't come from the real life experiences. Well, in this story, even though this is a fiction genre, but this story focuses on the family drama, where the genre is expected to display a family member's conflict, and it has been happened to Waverly and her mother. The conflicts happened, and then until the end of the story.
Okay, the next slide is, what emotional effects does the story intend? Do all the elements of the story or contribute to this goal? Next. The emotional effect that can be felt by the reader is like being surprised, happy, even excited depending on which part is read. Reader will be delighted to read Waverly's part in winning her first chess match. Readers can also be surprised at the part when Waverly's mother will stop to let Waverly practice for her next game. And yes, within all the story elements that contribute to creating the emotional effect of the story.
Okay, the next thing that we should evaluate from this story is, apart from the genre conventions, what expectations does the story set up, and how but well does it deliver on those expectations? Next. Okay, from our point of view, Evelyn thinks that her mother is an opponent because her mother is too controlling Beverly to keep practicing chess. This expectation can be seen in my mother had a habit of standing over me while I plotted out my games. I think she thought of herself as my protective ally and used it to just show off to others. This can be seen in my mother would proudly walk with me, visiting many shops, buying very little. This is my daughter, Beverly Chong, she said to whoever looked her way. And then her mother also considers Beverly's ability and victory to be just luck and discredit her work in training or practices. This can be seen in she sat proudly on the fence, telling my admirers with proper Chinese humility is love. Next. And one day, Beverly had run away because he couldn't stand his mother's word at the market, who again used her to show off to the traders and buyers there. And Beverly returned home at night and went straight to his room without going to dinner. After that, she reflected on the incidents and her recent relationship with her mother. This expectation can be seen in I walked into my room, closed the door, and laid down on my bed. The room was dark, the ceiling filled with shadows from the dinnertime lights of neighboring flats. And she also talked about the next move at the end of the story. This can be seen in I closed my eyes and pondered my next move. The next part will be explained by Rifqi. The time is yours.
Okay, so thank you, Yowana. And then in this part, we're gonna talk about, is the story sentimental as expected by the author? In contrast, a story that succeeds in evoking strong emotion in the reader may be considered successful in fulfilling the expectation it evokes. Okay. So we concluded that the story evokes strong sentimental feelings, send as our emotional reaction, and it sometimes does for us even know where to read it. The highlight emotional moment occurs when Waverly mother's window visits her, who is ecstatic about her daughter's skills, but she grows into an as she hovers over Waverly all the time. She has an oppressive influence in chess practice and forces Waverly to accompany her in the crowded marketplace of the community against her will. Linda's oppressive influence has a negative impact on her daughter's encouragement to play chess, and Waverly struggles to meet her mother's expectations. Waverly also finds it embarrassing that her mother constantly flaunts her in public. She finally confronts Linda about her obnoxious behavior. Okay.
Well, the last thing that we have to do when we evaluate the story is to find the flaws of the story. If the flaws exist in the story, then you have to consider, are they enough to detract from its full effect? Well, we have discussed about it and we have to try to find the flaws of this story. But in the story, we have considered that there are no significant flaws and the message to be conveyed is quite understandable, and also the characterizations also have been the characterizations has been drawn clearly, etc. So it doesn't affect the whole story and plot developed by the author. Well, next. Okay, that's all from our presentations. Thank you very much for watching our presentation through this video. I hope this presentation is so beneficial for all of you. Thank you guys and see you next time. Have a nice day.